What's happening behind closed doors at Ferrari's headquarters in Marinello might just be the beginning of something extraordinary for both the team and Lewis Hamilton. After weeks of pressure, doubts, and mounting questions about Ferrari's ability to provide Hamilton with the right tools to succeed, the team may have just cracked the code to unlock the true performance of the SF25. But this breakthrough didn't happen on the track, it happened in the simulator. And this is not just any small update or minor tweak to the car's setup. No, this is something that could change the entire trajectory of Hamilton's season and potentially Ferrari's as a whole. This breakthrough isn't just a one-off fix for a single race. It's the kind of development that could redefine their entire 2025 campaign. Heading into the Japanese Grand Prix, one of the most challenging and unforgiving circuits on the calendar, everything could change if the results from the simulator session translate onto the track. If Hamilton steps into the cockpit at Suzuka and finds the car behaving the way it should, we might not be talking about just a comeback for him, but the possible reawakening of Ferrari as a serious title contender, and Hamilton as a genuine threat at the very front. The data from the simulator session has shown promising results. The confidence within the team is palpable, and now all that remains is to see how it plays out on the tarmac of Suzuka. If everything clicks, this could be the moment where Hamilton's Ferrari era truly begins to shine. But before we dive into what this means for the weekend and the season ahead, let's first take a look at the problems Ferrari and Hamilton have been facing leading up to this breakthrough. Heading into the 2025 season, Ferrari knew they had a problem. The SF25, while fundamentally sound in concept, has proven to be extremely sensitive to changes in ride height, particularly at the rear. When the car is operating within its narrow working window, it's quick and competitive. But as soon as it falls outside of this window, the car becomes unpredictable. It gets twitchy, unstable, and difficult to manage, especially in medium to high-speed corners. This is precisely what both Hamilton and his teammate, Charles Leclerc, experienced in the opening races of the season, particularly in Australia and China. Both drivers struggled with inconsistent balance and poor cornering feedback. The car's rear end was particularly difficult to control, especially when it came to traction out of corners. It wasn't just a small issue, it was a major problem that left Ferrari with more questions than answers. The SF25 simply wasn't behaving the way it was supposed to, and despite the team's efforts to dial in a perfect setup, there was always something holding them back. But Ferrari wasn't content to simply accept these limitations. With the 2-week gap between races, they went back to the drawing board. The team's engineers, along with the simulator drivers, ran an unprecedented series of tests, pushing the limits of the SF25 setup. They went through no less than 20 separate configurations to try and pinpoint the sweet spot for the car. This wasn't just a matter of making a few tweaks here and there. Ferrari's team was experimenting with new combinations of front and rear suspension geometry, adjusting damper rates, tweaking anti-roll bars, and refining vertical stiffness levels. The objective of all this work: to create a car that could generate stable downforce even as it pitched and rolled through corners. This would be critical for a track like Suzuka, which is known for its flowing S-curves, elevation changes, and high-speed demands. The team focused on making the car more predictable through the high-speed corners and ensuring that the rear end would stay planted under both acceleration and braking. And then came the breakthrough. After several days of testing, Ferrari's engineers were convinced they had found the formula. The simulator runs with Hamilton behind the virtual wheel showed significant improvements in consistency, grip, and overall responsiveness. The car, according to the simulator data, was behaving much more predictably, and Hamilton seemed to be getting the kind of feedback he needed from the car. This was a game-changer for Ferrari. The team was so confident in the simulator results that they decided to make some bold decisions. They're not only adjusting the setup for the Japanese Grand Prix, but they've also delayed certain aerodynamic upgrades originally planned for Bahrain. Why? Because Ferrari now believes that, with the right mechanical foundation in place, their current aerodynamic package can finally deliver the performance it was always meant to. So, what does this mean for Hamilton in Suzuka? Expect to see him running a modified suspension package with updated settings on both axles. These changes are aimed at better managing weight transfer and ensuring that the rear end stays planted under braking and acceleration. Combine this with Hamilton's recently upgraded steering wheel system, which provides him with more detailed live data and better control over hybrid deployment, and Hamilton will be stepping into the most finely tuned version of the SF25 yet. But that's not all. Ferrari has also reportedly made subtle changes to the car's floor stiffness and underfloor airflow management. While these are not full upgrades, they are refined tweaks that have been directly informed by the simulator work. The goal of these adjustments is to improve airflow stability through the diffuser, which in turn should help reduce the snap oversteer that has plagued Hamilton's corner exits so far this season. Now, let's talk about Hamilton's reaction to all of this. According to internal sources, the 7-time world champion has been energized by the progress made in the simulator. He's praised the team's responsiveness and the quality of feedback integration, making it clear that he sees Suzuka as a weekend of opportunity, not just damage control. For a driver like Hamilton, who thrives on precision and confidence, this is a big moment. He has always been a driver who builds momentum once the car starts responding to his style. And right, now Ferrari seems to be giving him exactly what he needs to do just that. But of course, none of this guarantees instant dominance. Suzuka is one of the most unforgiving tracks in Formula One. If the car's balance is even slightly off, lap times and tyre wear will be brutal. So, while the data from the simulator looks promising, it's still a theory until it's tested on track. The real test will come when Hamilton steps into the cockpit at Suzuka and tries to bring that simulator data to life. What's also crucial to consider are the strategic implications if Hamilton performs strongly in Japan. A strong result at Suzuka would not only shift the internal